Well, hey there. Welcome back to the People Gardener podcast. Happy to have you here this week. So, this is the first of a three-part series that I'm going to do over the next 3 weeks. And we're going to delve into 12 common small business owner mistakes. I'm planning this in advance because I'm going to be at a coaching retreat 18th and 19th of April. So I've got to make sure I get these podcasts recorded in time. Let's dig in. And I don't want you to feel attacked. This is just observation, and not just my observation, but observation on the whole. And a lot of it comes from employee feedback. So one of the first ones is that you're just winging it and you don't have a plan. Now, let me preface this. We're talking about the employees, okay? Not talking about your business plan, your business model. This is all predicated on looking at it from an employee standpoint. So, winging it. You don't have any clearly defined job descriptions, standard operating procedures, any of those kinds of things. Something that I'd really encourage you to do as a solution to that first one of winging it. Okay, and I have to confess, when it comes to speaking, my speaking coach has a persona for that, and it's a winging it Wanda. So I understand that you're in the trenches. You haven't taken the time to actually put to paper the processes, the procedures of every single job, every single task. But I'm here to tell you, it is absolutely imperative that you do that, not only for yourself, because you gain clarity, but for the employees that you're onboarding. Yes, you've got to have an onboarding process. That makes it clear and simple. And the reality is that onboarding process starts with the interview. It's in the interview. Let them know how you operate. Let them know that there's going to be standard operating procedures. They are going to know exactly what their job description is. I think I've mentioned this before. A company that I did contract work for in Seattle, I was working with their up and coming managers that were being promoted into a role. The first thing I had each of them do, I said, I want you to send me an email and list out everything that you believe that you're responsible for in this role. What's your job description? And they would send it to me, and I would forward it on to the lady that hired me and say, do you believe that this is their job description? We had a few tweaks, but for the most part, they were clear. That only happens when there is clear documentation of what the job is, what's entailed, what skills do you need, what tasks are you going to perform. And then there's the standard operating procedures that explain the task. Get in there and get yourself organized. It's imperative to the happy engagement of your employees. No more winging it. The next one is your communication skill is sometimes non-existent. It's ineffective. And we've got all these different types of personalities. We've got the introverts, the ambiverts, the extroverts, and any other vert you want to name. Bottom line is the introverts need to become more comfortable communicating, and the extroverts need to learn how to shut up and have the conversation and let there be a back and forth instead of taking over the whole conversation. Something that helps is if every day you talk to the people that you lead. It doesn't have to be these 5, 10, 20-minute conversations. It can be a simple conversation in passing. Learn to get comfortable with speaking back and forth with one employee at a time, maybe a group of employees at a time, they absolutely won't bite. And they need to know that you won't bite. And if you're really struggling, find a program. Toastmasters is a wonderful organization. Yes, it's a bit structured and it might be a little staid for some folks, but it's an opportunity for you to practice speaking. Your communication, whether it's your verbal or your nonverbal, yeah, super important. The most effective way for improving the workplace culture is for people to know, hey, my boss is open to communication. My boss is interested in hearing what I have to say. It's in those moments that you're going to receive ideas and thoughts and observations that are going to help to grow your business and move it forward to a place that you might not even have imagined. So another that I see, or mistake that I see of small business owners, is you ignore the employees' work life. I call it blending. Lots of buzz out there about work-life balance. I'm not so sure that balance is the right word, because there is the yin and the yang. There's all in, and then there's, okay, we can pull back a bit. So I'm not sure if balance is right. Blending. I like the word blending. If you don't have the conversation with your employees about what's going on in their life, how their life operates, because it's so different for every single person. If you've got somebody that has children and they've got the combination of daycare and school, there's demands on them that are very different than someone who is single with no one in their life other than themselves, as far as having to accommodate time. I had an employee, she was in her 50s, and she was caring for her mom. Her mom was in an assisted living facility, but she was the point person for them. So there was a lot of demands on her time, and sometimes she had to be gone for meetings with the nursing staff, with the doctors, because those happen during the workday. So really get to know the ebb and flow of what's going on in your employee's life. Get creative. Don't be inflexible when it comes to that. We tend to see the world only from our perspective, and the more often we can move into somebody else's perspective, the better off we are going to be. And it's going to benefit them, and it's going to benefit you, because the more often you do that, the better you become at it, the better you become at communicating, and then you come up with solutions that blow your employees' minds, because, wow, way to go. I love that. Again, mistake is you feel because you're a small business owner, you can't afford to develop employees. So whether that's personal or professional development opportunities, you think, you know what, we just don't have the funds. We don't have the bandwidth to do that. I tell you, there's a lot of information out there that is free. One of the things that you can take advantage of is most libraries have the current books, the current audio books, and they're free. Get yourself a library card, because you can go in and get those, and you can give that to the employee and, okay, bring it back in a week or whatever time frame you have to return it. YouTube is a wealth of knowledge. Now, I get it. There's lots of, whoa, that's out there, and whoa, not a chance. You're going to have to spend some time in going through and determining which ones align with your values, with your company values. Bring those in. Have a list of all of these YouTube videos, even series that would speak to developing someone. And I can tell you right now, one of the number one places that you want everyone to develop is in emotional intelligence. So getting programs, getting books that speak to that is going to do nothing but enhance the work environment that you're wanting to create. Another way, it's long been said that it is when you have to go and teach somebody, you learn the most, right? Decide that you are going to take on the challenge of personal development. Put something together. And I'm not saying you have to do it from scratch. There's lots of help out there. You can go online and learn things and then present them to your people. And it could be that you decide, you know what? This is a great way for each of these people that want to develop skills for them to do a presentation to the whole group. Might freak them out, but as it goes, people are going to be more engaged and they're more likely to utilize what they're learning when it's their peers or you as a company have decided, you know what, we're all in this together and we are going to learn together because it's going to help all of us. So just a bit of a recap. We are going to find the recipe, right? We're going to create the programs and the SOPs and the operating procedures, the onboarding process. We want to follow the recipe, no more winging it. And then we are going to learn how to be comfortable talking and expressing ourselves in a way that people will receive us. And then we're going to make sure that we understand each person's life and what's going on so that we can get the greatest potential for that work-life blending. And then we're all going to learn and have fun becoming this company of learners and teachers. So those first 4, next week we'll go over 4 more. So the mistakes, it's the lack of clarity of defining the roles. It's poor communication. It's ignoring the work-life blending. And it's neglecting to give people the professional development that they're wanting. Over these next 3 weeks, these 12 different mistakes, we all make them. You may say, okay, well, I'm gonna address these. You know what? 6 months down the road, you're back to making the same mistake again. It's all part of the human experience, and it is okay for you to be aware. That's what we're going for. And we're going for let's make small incremental steps towards this phenomenal workplace culture and into transforming our employees into raving fans, because that is how you are going to gain freedom, personal freedom and freedom inside your business, and more profit is when you have this team of raving fans, and you absolutely can do it. But there's a few little tweaks that we're going to need to make in order for you to get there. So that's it for this week. We'll talk to you again next week.